Right. So then where do you see it going moving forward?
That's a really hard question, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
we don't know
that's the
what's gonna
billion dollar
happen.
question.
I mean, all of us thought that the pandemic will have like being over with Delta here with this group, but then this happened, and you know why? Like, the super interesting thing about this is like we don't know where Omicron came from, but one of the theories comes back from the past. Like, remember when you saw in the news that animals were starting to get infected with COVID?
Yeah.
Okay, so the virus jumped to animals, and the virus mutated inside the animals, and they jump back to humans, and that's how they think Omicron started.
Biology. That is biology right there, isn't it?
A lot of virology. Yep.
So then so the Delta variant is still out there, right?
The Delta variant is still out there, but it's not as prevalent as Omicron. Omicron right now is the most dominant one. Like, getting Delta these days, I think, is quite weird compared to getting Omicron. Like, most of the US cases are Omicron.
What was the country, if you scroll down, what was the country that has Delta as the main one? Yeah, in South America here. There, what is that?
It's into a clade. Is that, I think it's Argentina or Chile, one of the two.
So most countries in the world, it's the
Chile.
Yeah, it's the Omicron variant, but Chile has
Delta, according to this. Yeah, it has more Delta. It has more Delta prevalence. They still I'm pretty sure they still have some Omicron, but yeah, they have Delta. Right now, between Peru and Brazil, it's Omicron. But there was, for example, a point in Peru I remember quite well because I got COVID by last year, in which we didn't know which one was more prevalent, if it was Omicron or Delta. We didn't have enough technology to actually sequence all the data and actually determine, oh, this is Omicron, or no, this is Delta.
Wait, so go back. That if someone gets it, how do they know which variant it was?
Okay, this is like another process, but it is possible to know which variant you have. So these days, like, in order to study the genome, we have something called Sanger sequencing, in which they basically code the whole DNA or RNA of the organism, and according to the mutations it has, you can actually how can you say this? You can actually compare it to one of the variants and determine if it's the same or it's a different one. That's how they know if it's like Omicron or Delta.
Okay.
It's a lot of numbers.
What's the other countries that have Delta as the majority?
Well, the US.
There one in Europe.
In Europe as well, but in Europe right now they're facing the B2A, which is Omicron, no Delta. Okay. But there's still like, as you can see, like a good percentage of the cases which are Delta. Same in the US, but most likely to find is Omicron.
So what does it mean when a country has a larger circle compared to a smaller one on this graph?
It's just like up to the population, to be honest. Or like how severe the cases are. I'm not quite sure about that.
So like, I'm curious how, when we're looking at this.
Oh no, I think what's going on here. Okay. Like, taking a look into second look into this, like, have you seen the countries with the most infected people? I think these circles, like, the bigger it is, the more infected it is, with COVID in those terms.
Like more cases, right?
More cases. There you go.
Yeah. So how does like a country like Spain have like a much smaller circle than other countries in Europe?
So yeah, that depends. Actually, that's up to the restrictions that governments took place like way back in the days, and they're still taking on. For example, I'm not quite sure what they're doing right now in Europe, but for example, I'm pretty sure in the United Kingdom, they're actually taking like letters about not letters, like there's something in Spanish we say like cartas en el asunto, which means like they're taking action about it.
Okay.
So
what does Africa look like?
Oh, let's see, Africa. Well, here's also one problem with Africa. Africa does not have like a lot of public data.
Okay.
Yes.
So you would say, especially as someone in biostatistics, that data is pretty important.
Incredibly important.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like with COVID, I hate to say it, but I mean, we have get like a lot of data from viruses that we didn't know before, and COVID like itself is a huge opportunity to study the behavior of the viruses.
Okay. So what do you take away from we're looking at a map of the world with cases, and we have the tree. What is your big takeaway from the visual graphs of COVID?
My best guess is that COVID is still gonna keep going. There's like a lot of new variants every single day, as you can see here, and in my opinion, it's just not keep going on. But there's always a possibility that something as Omicron happens that evolves independently from the other variants, which will create another problem. And we hope that doesn't